Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders. Salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and in sincerity. This lesson will be entitled Warlike Energy. Judges 13:22. And Manoah said unto his wife, we shall surely die, because we have seen the Most High. But his wife said unto him, if the Lord Yahweh were pleased to kill us, he would not have received a burnt offering and a meat offering at our hands. Neither would he have showed us all these things, nor would, as at this time, have told us such things as these. And the woman bare a son, and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and the Lord Yahweh blessed him. Manoah was the father of Samson. Verse 25, and the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh began to move him at times in the camp of Dan between Zorah and Eshtaol. Let's focus on spirit in the Hebrew. Strong's H 7307, pronounced as Rawakah. According to G3, a definition is imparting warlike energy and executive and administrative power. Imparting means to give. Executive goes into the origin of execute, which means to carry out. Administrative means what? To manage. So Samson received the Holy Spirit in the form as warlike energy. And let's prove this. Judges 14. Judges 14:5. Then went Samson down, and his father and his mother, to Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath, and behold, a young lion roared against him. And the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh came mightily upon him, and he rent him, meaning the lion, as he would have rent a kid, and he had nothing in his hand, bare hands. But he told not his father or his mother what he had done. And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. And after a time he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion, and behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. And he took thereof in his hands, and went on eating, and came to his father and mother, and he gave them, and they did eat. But he told not them that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. The point: Samson killed a lion with his bare fucking hands. Remember, the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua came upon him. And what was the Spirit? Imparting warlike energy and executive and administrative power. This was the reason why Samson was able to kill a lion with his bare hands. And he also got honey out of the carcasses of the lion. Okay? And did not get stung. That's power. Let's jump down to verse 12. And Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If ye can certainly declare it me within the 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. But if ye cannot declare it me, then shall ye give me 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. And they said unto him, Put forth thy riddle, that we may hear it. And he said unto them, Out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they said unto Samson's wife, Entice thy husband, that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn thee and thy father's house with fire. Have ye called us to take that we have? Is it not so? And Samson's wife wept before him and said, Thou do but hate me, and love me not. Thou hast put forth a riddle unto the children of my people. Now remember, Samson's wife was a Philistine, a heathen, and her people were the Philistines. Let me read that again, though. And Samson's wife wept before him and said, Thou do but hate me and love me not. Thou hast put forth a riddle unto the children of my people, and hast not told it me. And he said unto her, Behold, I have not told it my father nor my mother, and shall I tell it thee? And she wept before him the 7 days while their feast lasted. And it came to pass on the 7th day that he told her, because she lay sore upon him. And she told the riddle to the children of her people. And the men of the city said unto him on the 7th day before the sun went down, What is sweeter than honey, and what is stronger than a lion? And he said unto them, If ye had not plowed with my heifer, ye had not found out my riddle. And the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh came upon him, and he went down to Ashkelon, and slew 30 men of them, and took their spoil, and gave change of garments unto them which expounded the riddle. And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. Okay? So what did he do? He slew 30 men of them, of the Philistines, okay, and took their spoil. And he did this effortless. Why? Because the Spirit of the Most High was upon him, going into what? Warlike, going into that imparting warlike energy and executive and administrative power. Judges 15:9. Then the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah and spread themselves in Lehi. And the men of Judah said, Why are ye come up against us? And they answered, To bind Samson are we come up, to do to him as he have done to us. Then 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock, Etam, and said to Samson, Knowest thou not that the Philistines are rulers over us? What is this that thou hast done unto us? And he said unto them, As they did unto me, so have I done unto them. And they said unto him, We are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hand of the Philistines. And Samson said unto them, Swear unto me that ye will not fall upon me yourselves. And they spake unto him, saying, No, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hand, but surely we will not kill thee. And they bound him with 2 new cords and brought him up from the rock. And when he came unto Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him. And the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire, and his bands loosed from off his hands. And he found a new jawbone of an ass, and put forth his hand and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith. And Samson said, With the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men. How so? Because the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh came upon him, that warlike energy. Judges 16 and 18. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, Come up this once, for he hath showed me all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head, and she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him, right? Because Samson received this power, this power because of the agreement not to cut his hair. The power was in the agreement and not in his hair. Okay? Remember that. The power was in the agreement to not cut his hair, and not because he cut his hair. All right. So, and she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head, and she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And she said, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as at other times before and shake myself. And he wist not that the Lord Yahweh was departed from him. Why? Because he broke the agreement. And therefore, because he broke this agreement, the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua did not fall upon him. Okay? But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with feathers of brass, and he did grind in the prison house. Howbeit, the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven. Then the lords of the Philistines gathered them together for to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon their God, and to rejoice, for they said, Our God have delivered Samson our enemy into our hand. And when the people saw him, they praised their God, for they said, Our God have delivered into our hands our enemy, and the destroyer of our country, which slew many of us. And it came to pass, when their hearts were merry, that they said, Call for Samson, that he may make us sport. And they called for Samson out of the prison house, and he made them sport, and they set him between the pillars. And Samson said unto the lad that held him by the hand, Suffer me that I may feel the pillars whereupon the house stand, that I may lean upon them. Now the house was full of men and women, and all the lords of the Philistines were there. And there were upon the roof about 3,000 men and women that beheld while Samson made sport. As Samson called unto the Lord Yahweh and said, O Lord power, remember me, I pray thee, and strengthen me, I pray thee, only this once. So Samson was requesting from Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, the Holy Spirit, this warlike energy. He was requesting the Holy Spirit, this warlike energy. As Samson called unto the Lord Yahweh and said, O Lord, power, remember me, I pray thee, and strengthen me. I pray thee only this once, O power, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistines for my 2 eyes. As Samson took hold of the 2 metal pillars upon which the house stood, and on which it was borne up, of the one with his right hand, and of the other with his left. And Samson said, Let me die with the Philistines. And he bowed himself with all his might, and the house fell upon the lords and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he slew in his life. Going back into Judges 13 and 25, and the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh, this Holy Spirit, began to move him at the times in the camp of Dan between Zorah and Eshtaol. Okay, Lord will, you were edified. Shalom.